This video is brought to you by my new album entitled Dougal's Treats. It's full of hummable melodies, bluesy riffs and the occasional bit of virtuoso flashy stuff as well. If you enjoy bluesy rock guitar with memorable tunes and solos that wail like a banshee, then check out the links in the description. The premium version includes all of the tabs for each tune, videos and jam tracks as well. Thanks for listening, now on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. As you can probably tell, it's all about slide this week. As you know, what I'm doing on these Monday videos now is alternating one week on blues and the other week on melodic rock. Well, it's the turn of blues this week, and no exploration of blues guitar playing is complete without looking at the basics, shall we say, of slide guitar. I don't consider myself a great slide guitarist. I consider myself who knows enough to be able to bluff their way through, and hopefully this will give you that same ability to bluff your way through in the same way as I do. Here's a little bit of information on how I was visualizing the fretboard when I was playing that little solo there, and you know how I kind of map things out. Hope this helps.
Here is the explanation.
Okay, so starting off with a few fundamentals. When you're going to be playing slide, you need usually a bit of a higher action. So what you can do is either set up a guitar that you leave just for slide and have the action permanently raised on that, or what I do is I just fold up a business card and stick it under the strings at the first fret. The trade-off is that you're going to be losing the open strings, but I don't tend to use the open strings much when I'm playing slide anyway. I'm also playing just in standard tuning. I'm not in some open G, open D, open E kind of tuning. I like to play slide in standard tuning because all of the notes are where I left them. All of my shapes and patterns are still there, and I can kind of use them without having to, second guess where my fingers need to go in a different tuning. The other thing is that there's only one finger that you can't wear the slide on, and that's your index finger. The reason for that is basically because you need, as you're moving the slide up and down the strings, you will get like a sympathetic vibration, lessened by the effect of the business card, it has to be said, but you will get sort of stray vibrations happening this side of the slide, which can cause weird unwanted dissonances with the note that you do want, which is on this side of the slide. So in order to counter that, most of the time I'm keeping a finger just muting the strings like that on this side of the slide. The final thing I will say is that you've got to use your ears more than you tend to possibly do when you're playing non-slide guitar, regular guitar, because you're always listening for the pitch. For example, this D note here, if I play this just without the slide, and put my finger there, then, you know, I get the note I want. But if I take the slide to that place there, I get a flat note. What you've got to do is you've got to get the note, you've got to get the slide rather directly above the actual fret. So to get that note, I've got to get the slide directly over this fret wire like this. Okay, and I'll probably drop in a little diagram, which is one of the ones that appears in my Blues Guitar Bible book, just so you can see exactly what I mean from like a player's eye view. The only time when you can actually tell that you're actually on the fret or above the fret is when you're looking straight down. Obviously there's some kind of angle involved when you're looking this way or this way. So that's what I mean. You've got to use your ears and just listen for when the note is in tune. A little tip I always think is useful is to err on the side of being flat and then crawl up to the note, because if you go sharp and come back to it, it just doesn't sound as convincing. So if I go like that, where I'm a bit flat, and then come up to the note, that sounds better than going that, I think. But, you know, maybe that's just me. In terms of the shapes and stuff that I'm thinking of when I'm playing slide, I'm really thinking in terms of chord shapes. I'm going to just demonstrate them now. So if I'm thinking of a G chord, then I know I've got a G major chord here like this, okay? So I can do all kinds of slidey stuff around that little group of 3 notes there. Like that. I can also make it into a bluesy 7th chord by putting the flat 7th in, so that's there. I can go and there's, you know, a number of licks, well, probably an infinite number of licks you can get out of that. So you could follow the 12 bar sequence, because that's what I was playing over earlier, around just there's your G chord, there's your C chord, there's your D chord. So I'll just do a little G, C, D kind of thing. And then back to G. So just kind of following the chord changes. So that's one chord shape I use quite a bit. If I'm going for a C chord or any chord, any major chord here, I'll probably also think in terms of this shape here. And maybe extend that up to its bluesy 7th by playing that note there. So with the slide, oops. That kind of thing. And then, as you can probably tell, these 2 shapes are just, you know, kind of bar chord shapes. There's the one I was using for the G, and if I start thinking about, you know, like that, I can go and then I've got I can connect that up to the G up here using that, which is just basically this regular bar chord shape, but moved up an octave. So like that. It's just thinking in terms of chord shapes, really. So, you know, G, going to the C, and then back into the G again. The D, into the C, using this shape here. And, you know, back into the G. I can do the G down here as well. That will take me into the C here. So just to summarise, I'm using this shape here, and you know, I can get those kind of licks out of that. I'm using this shape here, and I can get licks out of it like that, and then I can connect that down to the C down here. Hear the same lick. So that's effectively that shape and that shape like that, just joining the two up. You can start sneaking a little bit of your pentatonic patterns in as well if you want. Like that. As I say, you're in standard tuning, so all the notes are where you left them. Those are really speaking the two shapes that I tend to think of as the basis of what I'm doing, and then I'm just extrapolating from those by adding in sevenths. Like that. Oops. Yeah, too much coffee. And then this one here, so I can play, you know, and then bringing the seventh to that. And so on. That's basically it, okay? If you can just work on that, hitting the note directly over the fret, and then kind of familiarising yourself with the shape, and like that, and as I said, just make up some licks. There you go. That is a brief tour of the basics of slide. Now you know what to do. Go away and have some fun with it. And as always, there is a full tab for that piece of music that we kicked off the video with in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, as well as the clip of me playing the track and a jam track for you to play along with yourself, and that explanation that you've just seen there. All of that is, as usual, up on my Patreon page. There's the address, link in the description, as I'm sure you know by now. $3 or about £3 a month, depending on the exchange rate and all that sort of stuff, gets you access to all of these additional goodies and resources that go along with these YouTube videos. And of course, a massive, humongous, heartfelt and sincere thank you to everyone who supports me in that or any of the other ways, all of which are downstairs in the description. And that's pretty much it for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video and found it useful and informative and possibly even entertaining in some small way. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. And of course, don't forget the live stream every Friday 5 PM UK time, where we drink beer and talk about whatever we talk about. Basically, it's just a good excuse to have a couple of beers, or maybe a few more, and a chat on a Friday. It's a great way to kick off the weekend, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.